So retirees could be in trouble very soon. And today we need to discuss what is going on regarding Social Security, what is happening regarding the cost of living adjustment, the CPI report that came out this morning, and what millions and millions of retirees are doing at this time just to survive. So I'm going to address all that in today's video, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So when it comes to Social Security, many recipients are worried about one thing. That is inflation. Well, look at this. This report came out this morning. It says inflation falls 0.1% in June from prior month. That is actually pretty good that inflation is coming down. We're seeing disinflation. But the problem is, as we see disinflation, we also see Social Security recipients' cost of living adjustment drops as well, or at least the expectation. According to reports, just this morning, we are now expecting the cost of living adjustment to drop. It says as inflation cools for 2025, Social Security cost of living adjustment goes down. And the key point, it says the Social Security cost of living adjustment could be just 2.7% next year, according to a new estimate based on government inflation data released Thursday, today. It says while the pace of inflation continues to subside, retirees and other Social Security beneficiaries continue to contend with higher costs. It goes on to say the Social Security cost of living adjustment, or COLA, estimate for 2025 is not official and is subject to change. Now, here's where things get very interesting. Right now we're seeing two things happen. We are seeing the cost of living adjustment slowly come down, which is a little bit upsetting to millions and millions of Social Security recipients because they know that their check come 2025 is not going to grow as much as they were hoping. But here's the other thing. There's two sides to this. The other thing is inflation. The other thing is the cost of certain items. For instance, what do seniors pay the most for? Well, it's housing, transportation, medicine or medical services, and food. Those are the things that most retirees are paying the most for. They're not traveling and going around the world like many people are expecting, right? They're not, having and raising children. It's usually not something that they're doing, right? They're not paying for college and education. Those are things that the younger generations are paying for. But I want to show you this. Look at this right here. This is the CPI report just from today. You can see right here, so one of the big items that people pay for is food, all right? You can see that the unadjusted 12-month cost, or the CPI report, says it's 2.2%. That's for food, okay? And that's just food. It's for food at home, away from home, it's both combined. 2.2% over the past 12 months. That's not bad because, again, the CPI report again says we just went down 1% or 0.1%, but the estimated cost of living adjustment is 2.7%. So right there, we are a little bit ahead. But let's keep looking at this, all right? So let's look at this again. So if we look at just, let's go down here to shelter. Okay, you can see it right here, shelter. Shelter, if we come all the way over here, is sitting at 5.2%. Okay, that's for your housing costs. 5.2%. What's one of the greatest expenses that you have? In most cases, it's not food, it's not transportation, it's shelter. So it's risen by 0.2% this past month, but it's 5.2% year over year. That's a concern because that is not what we are seeing when it comes to the cost of living adjustment. That's 2.7%. This is why many Americans are frustrated and worried that they may not be able to survive off of Social Security alone. But I want to show you this because this is what's happening. Retirees are now starting to drive for places like Uber and Lyft and just doing other odd jobs because Social Security is not enough. I want to read this to you. One of the things that I do, and I talk about this many times, is I'll order pizza or I get groceries delivered to my house. I don't step into Walmart that often. But when I get these orders, or even when the mail comes, the people that are delivering this stuff, the mail, the groceries, the pizza, any food, right? In most cases, they're 60, 70 years old. But I want to read you this. Listen to what this comment that somebody left a while back. It says, and I quote, "After more than 5 years being retired, my wife and I both are forced to go back to work. Social Security wasn't enough to supplement our retirement savings, and we noticed that we would eventually run out of money. I now work 20 hours a week driving for Uber, and my wife will work 15 hours a week at a school this fall. This wasn't in our plans, but we can't sit around and wait for prices to eventually come down." Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. One of the things you're about to see when you go into Walmart, when you go into Costco, when you go into other retail locations, the people that are working there, in many cases, are going to be a little bit older. And they're probably going to be in their 60s and 70s. And the reason for this is because they have to come back to work. They can't stay retired. They have to come out of retirement so that they can actually survive. Now, I want to touch on this, okay? This person is saying that Social Security wasn't enough to supplement their retirement savings, and they noticed that they would eventually run out of money. This is happening all over the place, okay? That people are realizing just now that the money that they are spending is coming in and coming down so quickly, right? The amount of money that they have is dropping so fast that it does not matter what the stock market is doing, doesn't matter what any real estate investments, potential pensions that they're getting. These things are not putting money in as quickly as they need to take it out. So because of that, they're eventually going to run out of money. And we are now starting to hear that. I talked to a financial representative just the other day. He was telling me the exact same thing, that more and more of his clients are calling him, coming in, and trying to determine how long will their savings plus retirement actually last. And what they're realizing is that if they retire at age 67, for many of them, after age 80, so about 13 years, they will not be able to afford their lifestyle or even close to it. They have to make some major adjustments. So I don't know what kind of adjustments everyone's making at this time, but what many financial experts are saying is that you need to get rid of all your debt. No credit cards. Okay, absolutely no credit cards. No car payment. If you have an expensive car payment, let's say $700, $1,000, get rid of it. Even if you are 20, 30, 40 years old, get rid of these expenses that you absolutely don't need. If you are paying for monthly memberships, get rid of them. If you are paying for expensive clothing or just a new wardrobe, don't. Save yourself. Prices will eventually come down. Here's a big one. If you are traveling and traveling is not really in your budget, maybe wait. I talked to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago. He was planning a big vacation. They're going to go over to Spain and spend a bunch of time over there. And, well, probably it's a good thing they didn't, because people in Barcelona were getting squirted with water and stuff like that, being yelled at by locals, telling them to go home, that they don't want tourists there. But he was going to go to Spain. He decided to call that off to save the money, which was going to be about $8,000 to $9,000 for him and his family. He decided, let's not do that. Instead, they decided to stay local. They had a staycation. They saved a boatload of money, and they can use that for whatever they want. So at this time, just understand that Social Security recipients are doing okay right now, still struggling, but according to experts, it could be worse in 2025. So as we get more information as to how large the Social Security cost of living adjustment will be for 2025, I promise I'll come back on and I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get it. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.